Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Jody with JI Colourist, and today I have a color pencil review for the Woomer Colour Pencils. These pencils were sent to me for review. The timing of the Canadian release should be May or June. So I was excited to be able to have access to them early so that I could do a little bit of testing. These pencils have previously been released in the United Kingdom and then in the United States, but they are now coming to Canada, so I am happy to share them here with you all today. I'm going to do a quick unboxing, and then I'm going to so they came in a plastic mailer. So they came in this plastic mailer direct from China in the post. Then let's open up this box, and there is a box inside of a box, so that's nice because they have come a long way. And then let's open this box, and then they are here. Now there was a clear plastic sleeve on top of this, and I'll insert a picture of it here, but I did take the plastic sleeve off just so that we were not dealing with a bunch of crinkly noise here on camera. I have not opened this yet, so this is as far as I've gotten before I decided that I better film it. So it is a bright orange box. It says colored pencils. There's 72 in here. It is good light fastness, soft core, artist quality, saturated colors. And on the back here is, it says easy to blend, 3.8 millimeter soft core, break resistant lead, wide range of colors, richly saturated pigments. There we go. And they were made in China, and these are the colors. They do have color numbers. I'm not sure if they are also on the pencil, so we will see. I do know that inside, let's just pull this belly band off. Inside of here, there is a labeled swatch chart. So I'm not sure if I'm going to swatch them on that or not. I do have a Coloring Bliss color pencil swatch chart that I normally color in. Let me just turn this. There we go. So there's a little less glare there. Bright orange. It's kind of a fun. It is a hinged lid, so that's nice. And I'll turn the light back on now. So there's a tray. These are just your standard plastic trays, so flimsy. I'm not going to be keeping it in here, but I will place them up top. And here is the second tray here. Take a look at one of the pencils. So that says WCP01, made in China, Woomer Colour Pencil. So let's check here. And WP, yes. So the number here, May, I think I'm going to have to actually cut this open so that we can check. There is the light fast ratings along here. There looks to be, this one is 4 out of 5 stars. This one just has 4 pluses or stars on it. So interesting. Okay. Let me do a little bit more investigative work on this, and then I will come back. We will do some swatching, and I will talk about the pencils. I'll do a bit of, also I'm going to do some pencil sharpening so that if there is a transit coating on the pencils, that we've cleared that off. And but so far I don't see any broken tip, so maybe this one. A little bit of a broken tip there, but that's okay. They have certainly come a long way to Canada. So, all right, I'll be back in a while. I just wanted to show you, kind of do this video in a few parts so that you are seeing all of the stages of how I got the pencils and what they're going to do once. We're going to try them on a bunch of different papers after we swatch them out as well. So let's see where these shine and where they are maybe deficient. All right, see you back shortly. Okay, I'm ready to swatch out these Colored Pencils. Let's take a closer look at each pencil. And I was looking here at the barcode and the number before, but actually over here on this end of the pencil, and maybe I should try a different one. Here, this one might be easier. It's gold, and it has a number, WP001, and then it has the name white. So the pencil number on the swatch is WP001, and the name is white. So that 72 color chart that they provided is numbered and labeled, and so are the pencils. So I didn't notice that when I first looked at it, when I opened the pencils up, and that's because this is quite shiny and quite hard to, you're gonna have to look at it at an angle. So this is dark Naples ochre, and I'm going to leave them in the order that they are in the pencil box here, and go ahead and chart, because they do seem to be in order per here. So I'm not gonna move them around. I'm just going to start doing some coloring, but I'm going to take a bit of a black highlighter or marker. I'm going to cover about half of this so that we can see how opaque the white is. So I'll let that dry. And they come with a blunt edge, so I will do a bit of sharpening. I may change to an electric sharpener in a moment, but for now, so this is WP010 light cadmium yellow. And because this is kind of cardstock like material, but is a little bit slippery, I am going to go ahead and do some swatches on my regular color pencil paper. And this is a book from Coloring Bliss, and I bought the mixed media. So this is color pencil paper, and then it has marker paper and mixed media paper in it. So okay, so I will go ahead and so you're not having to watch me swatch absolutely everything. That's what I'll do. Once I have everything swatched, I will come back and we'll talk about it, and then we'll actually use these pencils in a coloring book or 2 or 3. Just show you how I am actually swatching these out. So this is the color pencil paper, and I'm doing an overall layer, light layer, very little pressure, just to see how much pigment lays down overall. And then I'm coming back on one side and going down and back up. So basically there's 3 layers on this side. So that's how I'm doing that. And then on the other swatch chart, I'm just coming in and giving an overall good layer. Something I did notice that was, I was a little bit surprised at, is there's a bit of dust when coming off of the pencil when I'm on the really super smooth paper, but when I'm on the color pencil paper, there isn't any dust. So I just thought that was different. So really, if you're going to be swatching out your pencils, it's kind of a good idea to swatch it out on the paper that you're actually more likely to want to use your pencils on, because they may perform differently. And it is, so far they have been in the order of the swatch chart. So if you're having a hard time seeing the gold writing on here, then the following them in order, one was out of order, but I put that back, and so far it's all been in order. Each one seems to be this has 4 crosses on it. This is light ultramarine, and if I come over here, it says light ultramarine here as well, and it has a 4 on that. The 4 over here in regards to their light fastness, so 4 for them is good light fastness. So they have 1, which is less light fast, 2 limited light fastness, 3 light fast, 4 is good, and 5 is extremely light fast. So those are just what the little symbols on there mean. And yeah, So a couple of them, like pale vermilion. This one had 5 crosses on it, but only 4 were filled in, and that's because it is rated as a 4 to 5. So that's why some of them have a little extra cross when it kind of spans a group between extremely good and good. So that explains that. So just I'll continue on, and the next one is light ultramarine. That is, I didn't do it on this one. So this is the same one that I just finished doing on this side. I like to do a couple layers for sure, because I want to see if the pencils layer up, if they're a different color or if they have good coverage. So that's how I do my swatch charts. I'll come back when it's done. Okay, here is the top layer. Everything is sharpened and I have swatched. I didn't notice, a couple of them were a little bit off center, but for the most part, I'd say that 95–98% of them were perfect. And there were none that split. There was none that broke when I sharpened them, so that was awesome. I did use my electric sharpener. The end is capped, and it is a nice, feels like a nice solid pencil. It is comparable to like the feeling of the size of a polychromos, as opposed to like a ChromoFlow, which is quite a thin, narrower pencil. So it does feel like a standard regular pencil in your hand. Here are the swatch charts. So this is the swatch chart that they provide within the behind the belly band, and it does come pre-printed. And here are the colors. Now the difference between their swatch chart and mine, hopefully we've got that all in focus. You can see all of it. I did just basically one layer on here. What's nice, and I will keep this swatch chart with the pencils, either in a case or in this tin for now, but so that's kind of nice. But I do like to have a complete swatch chart elsewhere in this. So let me just raise the camera up a bit. Okay, now you can see the whole swatch chart. So this is 60 swatches swatch chart. So, and there's 72 pencils, so I obviously have 12 on the back side, and they're the gray ones and the brown ones. So I just did that instead of having them on 2 different pages. So again, like I mentioned, I do a full swatch of the whole pencil lightly, and then 2 extra coats. So there's basically 3 coats on here, and I just want to see what the coverage is. They are a bit more vibrant than they are on this swatch chart, because this is more of a toothy paper, so it does pick up more pigment. The white was okay. I would probably use it for blending as opposed to like a really opaque white. But here is the colors. I did find the color names matched the colors themselves, except for the light salmon and salmon pink. I got the light salmon, but there really wasn't that much of a difference between light salmon and salmon pink. So I did notice, you know, really only one orange. We had the dark chromium yellow, which is kind of a yellow orange. But yeah, so that's kind of one area. I do use a lot of orange, so I did notice that. But overall, I'd say we have some light, medium, darks of most of the colors, which is kind of what you're looking for. And this cadet blue was an interesting color and an interesting name. I was a little surprised that the cold gray 4 was lighter than the cold gray 3, and I thought, well, maybe it was just this paper, but actually on this one as well, the cold gray 4 is a lighter gray than the cold gray 3, and that's normally not, in my experience, been the case. But definitely cool grays, and then we got a warm gray, and we have something called city gray, which I would also consider a warm gray. And this walnut brown is very, very dark, almost into like it's in grouped in with the grays, and I would say that that's accurate. The black is black. It's not the most dark black I've ever had before, but this can be deepened up. I think it would be good for adding shading onto your coloring page to pop them out. So that's what it looks like in the swatch chart. Now I think that we should spend some time actually coloring with them and seeing how they color. From the 72 set color-wise, I do think it's okay. I don't see anything really glaringly missing except for maybe some oranges. But we could probably, you know, pale vermilion is got quite an orange tinge to it as well. I did like the Caribbean Sea. That was a very nice light blue, and it's not often that we get really light blues. And then we did get a few different pinks. So, okay, let's do some coloring. All right, let's try these out. I'm going to start off with Joanna Basford's Small Victories. A lot of us have this book, so you understand what kind of paper it is. It's pretty smooth paper, but it does take pencil well. So I'm just going to start off with crimson, and I'll lower the camera a little bit more, and we'll do some coloring. They are not scratchy, so that's nice. I'm not pressing hard. And I'm going to see how they layer up. And I'll put a couple of different colors on as well. And then we'll also try using a couple of different blenders with these pencils to test that out as well. Okay, let's try a different color. This one is chili pepper. Let's see if we can find even darker red. How about madder red purple? Yeah, those blended really nicely. No problems. So it seems to be allowing me to layer a bunch of, it's allowing me to put down a number of layers here, as you can see, which is something I like. If I push a little bit harder, it is allowing me to kind of smush things, but I would say that for me personally, I'm used to polychromos pencils, and I do layer quite a bit. So let's try, this color is the Cold Gray 3. Actually, let's try this Cadet Blue, which is a kind of a nice gray. Let's bring in the white and see how the white acts as a blender. They do not seem to be a crumbly pencil, so that's good. A little bit of pencil dust here and there, but that's kind of normal. But nothing don't feel like I need to be brushing away the pencil dust, which sometimes I do feel like. Now regarding the light fastness, it is nice that they have light fast numbers on here and that they have indicated, you know, that they have done light fast testing, but really this is still a budget pencil. So am I concerned that their claims to light fastness are, you know, exactly what they say they are? Not really. If I'm not selling my pencil work, my colored pencil stuff. If you are somebody who is actually an artist and does sell your pencil work, I don't think you're going to be using budget pencils to start with. So while it is nice that they have some claims on them, I'm not, it's not something that when I'm looking at a budget pencil that I really am going to be overly concerned about. So it's nice that they did offer me the light fast details and stuff, but yeah, for me personally, when you're looking at a budget pencil set, you're not anticipating 100 years worth of keeping your coloring books. You're not going to be displaying them typically on the wall. If you are, definitely out of the sunlight and use some UV protecting glass behind your or over top of your page. But okay, let's see how some of these pinks show up. They do go on nice and creamy. I did not sharpen these to a super fine point, but I did sharpen them to a reasonable point. I've only sharpened them the once, and I have not had to resharpen them, but we'll see how it goes after coloring with them for a bit. There was quite a variety of greens. I'll zoom you out a bit. So there was lots of greens, which is nice because there's always lots of foliage. Do the chimney here. Pick a bright blue for this, just because I want to use a variety of colors. I will try and do some white dots on top of that, but I'll do that separate from here. So that's how they work in Joanna Basford books on the Small Victories page. I didn't have any problems. Okay, just before we leave this pic, the Joanna Basford book, I'm taking a Caran d'Ache full blender, and I'm just gonna blend this out and see how, if we're able to get rid of all the whites of the paper. Yeah, no problem. I think it's a cute little mushroom house, and let's try another book. Okay, the next book is a Lulu Mayo book. We all have a number of her books, and quite often people find it difficult to color in these books. So I thought it would be a good test of the pencils to see how they fare. Now this was already done with something else, so I'm just going to continue on this page, and we'll do maybe this little guy right here. And we'll see how he works. So this is the light yellow ochre. And this is pretty smooth paper, and pigment is going down just fine. We can get you zoomed in a little bit if we can. There you go. do a few layers. So that was light yellow ochre. This is burnt ochre. Again, it's gliding over the paper very well. So it definitely is a waxy pencil, I would say. It's not resisting putting down anything, so I would say it's actually doing really well. I probably would not even really feel the need to blend or burnish with these. They're going down pretty smooth and not leaving a lot of the white of the paper that it is annoying. And this paper is, like I mentioned, is quite smooth. We will do some blending though. We used the Caran d'Ache Full blender already once, so we will use a different blender. I have a couple of different blenders, and we also have Gamsol. But yeah, this is going down really smoothly. I think that this will, I wouldn't even actually think that I need to continue on and do a blending, but you can always bring in a lighter pencil and blend. So this is just green gold, and you can blend with that with a little bit of a heavier pressure. Okay, let's do a little bit of leaves. Got a lot of greens, so no, I think that these are a lovely pencil. A little bit of pencil dust, like I said, when you're pushing a little bit harder. Got some nice skin tones. Going to try the light salmon. Just to give him a little less brown all the time. Do a little bit of blending with the white. If you're going to blend with your white, make sure you wipe your white pencil off to make sure it doesn't have another color. And for a coat, we have quite a few purples to choose from, so let's actually try some of these lighter purples. So this one is called Pale Violet, and it is a really pretty color. It's got a kind of a blue tinge to it. It's very pretty. Reminds me of lilacs. And I'm just thinking spring colors. I'm hoping spring is on its way here to Canada soon. I know it's a little early for spring for us, but one can hope. It's been so nice the past little while. I know we'll have more snow in March, but for now I can be happy with some nicer weather. And we just changed clocks, or we are changing clocks this weekend, and so we'll already have changed clocks by the time this video is out. Let's bring in, this is Manganese Violet. And just use it as a bit of a shade. I would be happy to color in this book with these, so I think we'll go on to try a different book. But yeah, these slide nicely on the paper, so they are laying down sufficient pigment, and yeah, happy with how they're performing. I think that I'm not sure of the pricing, so I will look at the pricing, but these did come directly from China when they were sent to me by the Woomer company, so I believe they will be available to be ordered off of Amazon, and there will be a discount coupon for my subscribers to get this pencil set at a discount for the first 30 days. So it is a time-sensitive coupon, so if you are interested in these. So let us just grab a darker purple. And so if you're somebody who does it with a heavy hand, you may get, like we've got a little bit of crumbs there. Sweep it away with a brush and not your hand. Your hand will warm the crumbs up and smear it. Just as another tip there, but yeah, I'd say that happy with how they turn out in the Lulu Mayo books. Let's try a mythographic book. The next book I want to try is a mythographic book. This is Cosmic Spirit, and I chose this book because while a lot of people do use, it's a single-sided book, a lot of people do use markers in this book. You can also use colored pencil, and I chose this book because a lot of us have Mythographic and Mythogoria books, and they're all the same paper. So if you know how they work in this book, then you'll get a good idea. So I thought, this is March, and it is St. Patrick's Day in March, so I thought it would be nice to maybe do some of these clovers. So I'm gonna grab a green, grab a few of the greens. I have quite a selection of greens. I'll show you the selection. Okay. We're gonna zoom the camera in a bit for you, and we'll work on this green. Now what I will also do is a bit of marker work on this page as well, and then see if these color over top of the markers. I don't anticipate there to be any problems, but it's kind of nice to test. If you're going to test them out, you might as well test them out in the most likely situations of how people are planning on using the pencils. So they're definitely, I would say, to get the best coverage, you're going to do probably 2 layers at least, and that has already gotten rid of the white underneath the paper. Let me grab a marker. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 different greens here, just to see how the coverage is. I did put a piece of paper behind this to stop bleed through, so while the camera was off, I did that. While we're waiting for those to dry, I'm just going to bring in a bit of a darker green. So this is the hooker's green, and I'm just going around the very edge of the clover leaf here. Okay. That's really nice. No problem going over. And I think that this would really, certainly alcohol marker speeds up the coloring process just because there is a base layer and you're not struggling to fill in the tooth of the paper to start with. And no, I'm not coloring these the same, just trying to show you a bit of a difference between. Okay, so this is the example of how we have colored in the Mythographic book. I think it all turned out well. These three had markers on them with shading on top, and this one was strictly pencil, and then I blended it. So definitely, I think it worked well. I don't have a problem. I'll zoom you back out. So that's how the pencils worked in the Cosmic Spirit, so Mythographic paper. Let's try one more book. All right, I am in the book Sea of Colors, which is by Angela Gonzalez, and this is the book that has the worst paper of all my coloring books. So I'm like, if it can color on these, it can pretty much color anywhere, and it is coloring pretty good. And I think that's because these are quite waxy, because they remind me a little bit of the 4 candies in that their waxiness. They seem to be doing pretty good. I am typically a color pencil person, so while I am trying to use markers more, I'm definitely more of a color pencil person, so definitely happy to and I'm not even going to blend with that. That will be enough. Try a couple of different greens that we haven't used before. So this is a turquoise green. It's nice, bright and vivid. This is the light aqua, which is another turquoise color as far as I'm concerned, and that blends really nicely. It's nice not having to, when you have a waxy pencil that's as smushy, it's nice not having to always be struggling to cover the tooth of the paper. So yeah, really happy with actually how that turned out. I'll probably continue on this page bit. So just so you know, this is Sea of Colors, and I am trying to finish this book mainly because while the illustrations are great, the paper is not. So if you've been around for a while, you know the struggle is real, at least for me, for this paper. So kind of happy. And I know a lot of people just will use markers instead of struggling with, you know, when you do have difficult paper. So yeah, I will go grab a marker and try it on this paper as well, and then pencils on top. I don't anticipate a problem, but we will test that out to make sure. And in fact, we haven't used Gamsol yet, so let me grab that. And I have Gamsol in an empty Copic sketch marker. Oh yeah, that just dissolved that really well. No problem whatsoever there. Always make sure to wipe your blender off afterwards. Okay, and I'm gonna get an eraser and erase that little piece there. Okay, yeah, it erases okay. I did test the erasing when I was doing the swatch chart to, you know, if I went over, I was erasing, and as long as it was not the burnished end, it was erasing just fine. So that was also something I wanted to mention. Yeah, I am happy with the pigment payout. That is for sure. This is the lemon yellow, cadmium yellow. I'll zoom out and we'll take one last look at the pencils and get my final results. Okay, back in Sea of Colors, I have done some mimosa yellow. Now I'm going to shade with the dark chromium yellow. I do have to comment again how difficult it is to read the gold lettering on here. So that is one thing that I wish they would alter. Is it's great to have a color name and number on the pencil, but if you have a really hard time reading it, then is it really there? And this is Sunburst Yellow. They do seem to blend nicely, and I think that the color palette itself lends to blending well with each other, so that's kind of nice. I think that looks good. This little fishy guy, the illustrator is very cute with the big eyes. It is something that I do find amusing. Yeah, this is coloring nicely, and I'm just going lightly. I like to normally put a bit of a gray cast on the back of the eye. So in this case, I'm using this Caribbean Sea color, which is really light blue. I just thought I'd like to see how it looks. It certainly is a light color. Zoomed in a little bit there. Just add a bit of shading to the back of the eyeball. See if it builds up. A couple of layers. It definitely is working better than my some of my other pencil sets on this paper, so that's kind of nice. And I do think that that is because my preferred pencil is a Polychromos, which is not a very waxy pencil, and this definitely has a bit more wax than Polychromos. Green gold is one of my favorite colors to use, so let's go see how it. I was prepared to really not be happy with these pencils. I am a bit of a pencil snob, but no, I'm actually quite surprised. And pencil snob, meaning that it doesn't have to be an expensive high grade pencil for me to love it, because a lot of my pencil sets are budget friendly, and but I want to be able to color and have them feel nice. And yeah, no, I'm happier with these than I was. A little disappointed with the Artex pencils when I got them and started using them, because there was such a hype about them. So I was a little bit leery to get this set, wondering if the hype was going to be the same. So yeah, so I'm not comparing them to really any other artist grade pencils, even though they have the light fast rating. I'd say that each pencil set that is not sold by a legacy brand that has open stock with a, you know, is going to be around the budget pencil range for me. And that's how I am evaluating these pencils. I'm not evaluating these pencils as if they were museum quality light fast pencils. And so that my opinion may be a little bit different if that is the way you were judging them. I know a lot of people have reviews out on the channel, on the YouTube for these, and yeah, the most recent one that was making comments about these was actually, I follow Lindsay the Frugal Crafter, and she was actually saying how she was surprised with these pencils as well. So that's kind of how I'm feeling, is genuinely surprised that they are coloring and giving me the pigment without, you know, doing a lot of pressure. Happy with how they're looking, and they seem to be going over regardless of the paper so far. We've tried them now in 4 different books, and from good paper to questionable paper. All right, I will continue coloring with these for the rest of the month. If my opinion changes vastly from what I've already commented on before the end of the month, I will do an updated community post to let you know, or look for a pinned comment on this video to see if my opinion has vastly changed for some reason. But so far I've been happy with what I have felt so far, and I'm going to go back to some of these other pages that I started and do some more work on them and test them out a bit more. But I'll do that on my own time. I've probably used up enough of your time and brain power for you to make a decision on whether or not these are a budget colored pencil set that might be of interest to you. If you are looking for a budget color pencil set, there is a discount in the video description for a discount code that is good for 30 days. But that's it for now. I think that they're a decent set for a budget pencil, and I would be happy to recommend them. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have had an experience with the Woomer pencils that is not what I've shown and demonstrated here today, by all means share those in the comments. I'm always happy to hear how you are doing with your pencil sets, and if you've had any issues. So I guess in conclusion, if you are currently on the lookout for a waxy budget colored pencil that has some light fast ratings on it, then I would suggest the Woomer pencils are definitely worth a look at. There are only 72 colors, but sometimes less is more. I do spend a lot of time using my 4 Candies pencil, which is a waxy pencil that only has 36 colors, and I use those pencils a lot. So I don't think that we always need 150 pencils to get beautiful pages done. So if you're looking for a budget centered pencil with some beautiful colors, then Woomer with 72 pencils may be something worth looking into. There is a discount code in the description below. I thank you for joining me today, and I hope you have a creative and colorful week. All right, everyone. See you in the next video.